You have almost certainly seen a photograph of this place. A wind-bent tree shaped like an open umbrella, or a flying saucer standing on bare red rock under a hard blue sky. And whatever caption it carried probably told you it wasn't Earth, that it looked like Mars, another planet entirely, somewhere that couldn't possibly be real. It is real. It is an island in the Arabian Sea off the coast of Yemen, and it is one of the strangest pieces of ground anywhere on the planet. More than a third of the plants growing on it exist nowhere else in the universe, not nowhere else in the country, nowhere else on Earth. Trees that look as though they were designed by someone who had once heard a tree described but had never actually seen one. The internet loves to call it alien. And that word is not just lazy, it is exactly, precisely backwards. And understanding why is far more unsettling than any alien planet could ever be. This is Soqotra, the main island of a small archipelago, about 3,500 square kilometers of rock and mountain and limestone plateau, sitting in the ocean roughly midway between the Horn of Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. To step onto it is to walk into a version of Earth that took a completely different path from the one you know. The signature is the tree from the photographs, the dragon's blood tree. It grows like nothing else alive. A thick trunk rises and then splits near the top into a dense tangle of branches that all reach upward to almost exactly the same height. So the whole crown forms a tight, flat dome, like an umbrella turned inside out, or a mushroom the size of a house. Stand in a grove of them on the high plateau and the effect is genuinely disorienting. Hundreds of these identical green domes on stalks scattered across red earth, the bare gray peaks of the mountains rising behind. Nothing about it reads as a normal forest, and the dragon's blood tree is only the most famous resident. There are bottle trees with grotesquely swollen trunks like the legs of an elephant that hoard water inside and burst into pink flowers. There is the cucumber tree, the only member of the entire cucumber family anywhere on Earth that grows into a true tree with a fat, pale trunk. And it grows only here. There are desert roses that look like boulders that have decided to bloom. Out of roughly 825 plant species on the island, more than 337%, are found nowhere else in the world. Among the reptiles, it is even more extreme. About 9 in every 10 live only on Soqotra. Among the land snails, very nearly all of them. This is not a garden that someone designed. It is what happens to life when you take a piece of land, set it adrift, and then leave it completely alone for an almost unimaginable span of time. Because that is precisely what happened here. Long ago, this island was joined to the great landmass of Arabia and Africa. Then the continents pulled apart and Soqotra was cut loose, set out into the ocean on its own, far enough from any other shore that almost nothing could cross to it, and almost nothing could ever leave. The estimates vary, but the island has been biologically marooned for something on the order of 6 million years, and the deeper geological split runs back much further still. Either way, it is a vast stretch of time. And on an island, time does something very specific to life. Cut off from the mainland, the plants and animals stranded on Soqotra stopped competing with the rest of the world and began answering only to Soqotra itself. Its heat, its monsoon winds, its thin soil, its long droughts. Generation after generation, they drifted away from their mainland cousins until they had become something genuinely new. Species shaped to fit this one island so precisely that they could survive nowhere else. Biologists have a tidy phrase for places like this. They call them living laboratories of evolution. Soqotra is one of the purest examples on the planet, which is exactly why it gets called the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. And here, the dragon's blood tree turns out to be much more than a pretty silhouette. That strange umbrella shape is a survival machine. The dense, upturned canopy combs moisture straight out of the passing sea fog and the monsoon mist, condensing it on the leaves until it runs down the trunk and soaks into the ground at the tree's base. A single, mature tree can wring an astonishing share of its own water out of thin air this way. And as it does, it waters the soil around it and shades that soil from the brutal sun, building a small pocket of life where other, rarer plants can take hold. The tree does not merely live on Soqotra, it builds the conditions that keep much of the rest of Soqotra alive. As for the name, there is no blood and there was never any dragon. Cut the bark, and the tree bleeds a deep red resin, and the ancient world was certain it had to be the dried blood of dragons. The Romans bought it as medicine and as dye, and even smeared it on as fake blood in the theater. It is sap. But the legend stuck, and the tree has carried a dragon's name for 2,000 years. And here's the quiet irony in that trade. For millennia, the wider world reached out and took from Soqotra its dragon's blood resin, its endemic frankincense, prized from Rome to Greece to India, hauled away along the ancient trade routes. Greeks, Arabs, Portuguese, the British, empire after empire coveted this island, garrisoned it, charted it. And yet not one of them ever truly absorbed it. They carried off its resin by the shipload and left its strange forests standing exactly as they were. So now go back to that word, alien. Every viral photo of Soqotra reaches for it. Looks like another planet, looks like Mars, doesn't look like Earth. And it is exactly the wrong word, because Soqotra is not strange. Soqotra is normal. It is what Earth's land actually does when it is left to itself. It diverges, it specializes, it turns into something utterly particular to one place. That is the default setting of life on this planet. What is strange, what is genuinely abnormal, is everywhere else. Look at almost any landscape you have ever lived in. The same handful of crops in the fields, the same dozen weeds in the pavement cracks, the same pigeons, the same rats, the same ornamental trees, the same lawn grasses, repeated from continent to continent, because we carried them everywhere we went and let them crowd out whatever had been there before. We have spent a few thousand years quietly blending the entire surface of the world into one increasingly similar place. A pine in one country looks like a pine in the next. A city park in one hemisphere grows nearly the same plants as a park in the other. Soqotra escaped all of that. Its isolation did not just protect a few odd trees, it kept the whole island out of the global blender. So when you stand among the dragon's blood trees and feel as though you have left the planet, what you are actually feeling is the reverse. You have not left Earth. You have arrived on a piece of it that is still fully, defiantly itself. A sample of what the whole world looked like before we averaged it out. It does not look alien because it came from somewhere else. It looks alien because everywhere else has stopped looking like anything in particular. We are the ones who made the rest of the planet strange. Soqotra simply never got the memo, which makes what is happening to it now quietly devastating. Because the blender has finally found the island. You might expect the threat to be the obvious one. Soqotra belongs to Yemen, and for over a decade, Yemen has been ground down by one of the worst civil wars on Earth. It would be natural to assume the island became a casualty of that war. But here is the honest version, and it is stranger than the obvious one. The fighting never really reached Soqotra at all. 350 kilometers of open ocean kept the front lines and the airstrikes away. The island was spared the war almost completely. What it was not spared is everything the war let in. When a country falls apart, the quiet machinery that protects a place like this falls apart with it. The rangers, the rules, the funding, the enforcement. Into that vacuum came new roads, sudden development, outside powers jostling over a strategically placed island, and a slower, humbler enemy that may matter most of all. Goats. Across Soqotra, grazing herds crop the tree seedlings the instant they sprout. And the dragon's blood tree, which can live for many hundreds of years, grows so slowly that it now almost never gets the chance to replace itself. Walk through one of the great groves today and you will see giants, and almost no children. The forest you are admiring is old. In many places, it is the last generation. And when the cyclones come, striking this coast harder and more often than they used to, 2 of them slamming the island within a single week in 2015, they tear the old trees down, and fewer rise to take their place. So the most Earth-like place on Earth, the last great fragment of land that never went into the blender, is being slowly fed into it after all, not by war, by goats and roads, and the simple, grinding arrival of the outside world into the one place that had been left alone just long enough to become entirely itself. It is not hopeless. On the island, Soqotrans have begun building walled nurseries, small fenced enclosures where dragon's blood seedlings can grow past the reach of the goats, watered by hand until they are strong enough to stand on their own. It is slow, patient, unglamorous work, racing against trees that measure their lives in centuries. Whether it is enough, no one yet knows. And it is not only the trees. The people of Soqotra are part of the same story. Around 60,000 of them live there, and many still speak Soqotri, an ancient language with no written tradition, a survivor of a family of tongues that was spoken across this region before Arabic ever arrived. It is a human endemic, as rare in its own way as the trees, a way of naming the world that exists nowhere else, and that the same tide of the outside world is slowly thinning out. That is the thing I cannot shake about Soqotra. We travel to it as though it were a window onto another world, when it is really a window onto our own. The one we used to have before we made everywhere resemble everywhere else. The dragon's blood trees standing on that plateau are not visitors from Mars. They are survivors from Earth. The last ones left in the room who still remember what the planet was supposed to look like. And they are very old, and they are not being replaced, and even the fog they drink is changing. One day, perhaps within a few human lifetimes, the umbrellas may simply stop coming back. The island will still be there. But the thing that made it feel like another planet, the living proof that this one was ever so wildly, so specifically alive, may quietly thin out and be gone. There is another set of coordinates already waiting. Come with me. Somewhere new every few days. Go while the trees still remember.